Good morning and welcome to your weather hazard briefing for Saturday, July 16th. I'll be covering a couple of key points this morning, talking about the heat, of course. And we do have a little bit of a chance for isolated thunderstorms this afternoon, probably lesser of a chance than we've had the last few days, but still the timing on that is generally from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Primary threats are lightning with brief wind gusts. If you do run into one of these, they're mostly going to be up near the Montana Divide, and can't rule out one south of Pocatello down through Malad area, but we'll get into all that here in a second. And then going forward, the heat continues, and we have pretty high confidence of that heat continuing, and even with a stormy weather pattern beginning to enhance Sunday into Monday. And then we'll start to bring in more of the wind on Sunday, and then again on Monday we'll have windy conditions, and then we'll have just a slight cooling going on Monday into Tuesday, but really that's just going to knock the temperatures back to around average. So getting into it here, we've got kind of a complicated weather risk outlook, but there's a lot going on. We've got of course heat today expected for Snake Plain, Magic Valley, South Hills. Everywhere is going to be pretty warm, but the heat concerns are mostly for those locations. And like I said, we have a couple of isolated thunderstorms that could develop this afternoon in the South Hills, Southeast Highlands, and Eastern Highlands up near Island Park. Sunday is kind of a big day. We've got, in addition to heat, we'll have kicking off some scattered thunderstorms, and then like I mentioned earlier, we'll start to get a little bit breezy in some locations, and that's going to really start to ramp up the winds, especially going into Monday. Monday we'll have winds and low RH in some locations. Again, a few scattered thunderstorms expected across Southeast Highlands and Eastern Highlands where the moisture sticks around, but really we're going to be moving past that system and then building back the heat for the midweek. Taking a look on satellite, there's not much going on. Really, we've just got a couple of old debris clouds, old scattered clouds still around from the convection that developed over in Nevada and Utah earlier last night. That's going to continue to stream and eastward out of the area, and really we're going to be left with pretty sunny skies going forward as soon as daybreak hits. High temperatures today, with those mostly clear skies, we're going to be seeing temperatures boost back up into the mid-90s for many locations throughout the Snake Plain, may even flirt with 100 in the eastern Magic Valley. Now, of course, the higher terrain is going to be a little bit less than that, but really across the board we're looking at temperatures about 5 to 7 degrees above average for this time of year. In terms of relative humidity, for fire concerns, we're starting to see low RHs creep in. We've got kind of this area between Fairfield, Shoshone, up through the Arco Desert that's going to be below 15% relative humidity, and that's along the same area as we have a kind of a bullseye of higher winds, wind gusts expected today. So borderline red flag conditions, but we didn't issue a red flag. There's no red flag out there, but any fire that does get established, if there are fires out there, they could spread rapidly in these types of conditions. And then, of course, further to the north, we do have those winds in the central mountains up near Chalice, up towards Salmon as well, into Mackey, and that's an area where we have lower relative humidities as well. Now, looking at low temperatures Sunday morning, the reason we have this highlighted is overnight temperatures won't drop nearly as low as we've seen in the past couple of nights, and so for one thing, that's going to compound some heat stressors, going from warm temperatures today or hot temperatures today to hot temperatures on Sunday. We're not going to get as much relief overnight, and so that could compound some of those heat stressors. In addition to that, the relative humidity recovery overnight into Sunday won't be as high. So again, for fire weather concerns, any fires overnight, extending overnight into Sunday, aren't going to see as much relative humidity relief. Looking at Sunday, we ticked the temperatures up just a couple more degrees. So we're really flirting with 100 in many locations, including Pocatello, Shoshone, out towards Twin Falls and Burley, and up through the INL. And really, again, that's well above average for this time of year. And that's as the system starts to approach from the northwest, and as that system approaches, we're going to get kind of this strong south-southwesterly flow into the area. It's first going to favor the central mountains, again, up towards Salmon, Chalice, Mackay, out through the INL. These wind gusts are going to really increase. Now, one thing that will increase as well, that's not shown here, is the minimum relative humidities will start to increase as well Sunday afternoon. So in terms of those fire weather concerns, it's not as high. But of course, strong winds can certainly push fires around pretty quickly. In addition to the very hot temperatures on Sunday and windy conditions, we are expecting isolated to scattered thunderstorms, especially over the central mountains and southeast highlands, south of Pocatello into Idaho Falls area, up towards Idaho Falls area. And there is a marginal risk for its severe thunderstorms that sits just off to our northeast. That's where the storms are favored to be stronger, but we will have our fair share of strong thunderstorms across eastern Idaho on Sunday. Looking ahead one more day, on Monday we do knock the temperatures down a little bit as that system kind of pushes off to the northeast, but the winds, as you can see, are still sticking around. In fact, this is going to be the windiest day of the week from what we're seeing. Wind gusts in excess of 35, 40 miles an hour across the Snake River Plain and upper Snake Highlands into the central mountains. So a very windy day is on tap on Monday. And we just want to leave with some heat messaging. Heat can obviously escalate quickly, and it can be compounded over several days of heat. So one thing we want to stress is never to leave people or pets alone in a car. Drink plenty of water, especially working outside. Wear loose-fitting clothes, and if you can, seek relief in air-conditioned buildings as well. And know the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. I won't read through this whole slide here, but with heat exhaustion, of course, it's important to act fast. And heat stroke, that's when the heat exhaustion gets to a point where you need to seek medical treatment. And of course, we're not just thinking about humans. We always want to think about pets as well. Pet safety. Never leave pets unattended in vehicles, and even if they're outside, out in the open air, make sure they have plenty of water available to them, and have plenty of shade available as well. And will the heat continue? Just wanted to throw this in here. The week 2 outlook is looking at above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation continuing into the end of the month. So really no relief in sight, no end in sight for the current heat wave. We'll continue to progress along and just make sure you stay safe with heat related precautions out there. So in summary, hotter today and going into Sunday, with a few isolated thunderstorms today. Again, main timing is 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Very isolated threat for most locations. And then heat continues with the stormy pattern starting to enhance on Sunday, going into Monday with very windy conditions. And then we'll see just a temporary dip towards average temperatures on Monday into Tuesday, but then really ramp the heat back up the rest of the week. With that, we appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, feedback, anything, please email us, give us a call, or leave a comment on our YouTube page as well. Thanks.